Will Cam Newton return in the 2020 season? I doubt it. I think we've seen Cam Newton play his last 2 games with the Panthers at the beginning of this season. Next year, he'll be moving on. It's unfortunate to say this, but I believe Cam Newton has played his last 2 games with the Panthers, and here's why. Now don't get me wrong, Cam Newton's going to play in the NFL again. He's only 30 years old and he's got lots of NFL games left in him. There's plenty of NFL players who've came back from this foot injury in the past. The Panthers are staying quiet about Cam Newton. They want his foot to heal 100% by the spring of next season so they can see what's going to happen. But this spring, Cam Newton's contract expires. If the Panthers decide to keep Cam Newton, it's going to cost the Panthers team $21.1 million. If the Panthers cut him at the end of the 2019 season, it only cost the Panthers team $2 million. I think the Panthers organization has loved Cam Newton, but they've got to make a logical decision that will affect the team. Cam Newton's the only player in Carolina's short NFL history that has won an MVP award. Especially not knowing if Cam Newton is going to be able to play the entire 2020 season. By cutting Cam Newton, it would save the Panthers organization $19 million. That is a lot of money and a lot of salary cap room that the Panthers organization could spend in other areas that they desperately need. The Carolina Panthers could avoid this situation if they offer Cam Newton an extension. However, that's highly likely that Cam Newton would accept it. He would have to take a huge pay cut, and that's probably not going to happen. The first 8 seasons that Cam Newton played with the Carolina Panthers, he only missed 5 games through 8 seasons. That's incredible. That is super dependable. But in the last couple years, Cam Newton has been injury plagued. 2 throwing shoulder injuries in the last 3 years. And now Newton has this nagging foot injury that is just irritating him from the first preseason game of the season, which he admits he should not have played in. Newton's value has dropped dramatically, making it unsure for the Panthers if he is worth the $20 million that they would have to pay him next year. He's been hit, he's a running quarterback, so he's been hit hundreds of times, and that may be catching up to Newton. Somebody's going to pick him up. There's no doubt about it. Cam Newton will play in the NFL again. He's too young. We'll see lots of highlights, but they're not sure if he's worth the $21 million they'd have to pay him just for next season. There's no doubt Cam Newton's going to play in the NFL again. Plenty of teams will need a quarterback, but they're not sure if the value is there any longer for Cam Newton, and if it wouldn't be better for them to go out and search for their next young quarterback like we're seeing all across the NFL. If the Panthers decided to cut Cam Newton, that would probably happen at the very beginning of spring, right before the NFL fiscal year starts. The Panthers also need to think about the inevitable extension that they're going to need to provide to Christian McCaffrey to keep him on the team, and that's going to happen. If the Panthers decided to cut Cam Newton, this would give Newton a chance to start fresh with a new team and a bright new future. It just doesn't seem likely that the Panthers would spend $21 million on Newton, who has missed 14 of 16 games in 2019, and the last 2 games played on a bum leg. Now, one thing you might consider on the flip side of this, Allen's play throughout the rest of this season may determine if Cam Newton might be worth the risk of him playing in 2020. If Newton could play the full 2020 season, the $21 million would seem like a bargain compared to other NFL quarterbacks' pays per year, which is reaching the $35 million mark. And Mahomes, next year, when his contract is ready to be signed, may be the first quarterback ever to hit the $40 million per year mark. So Newton isn't a bad deal as long as he can come back and play the 2020 season. What's really unfortunate for the Panthers and the Panthers fan is GM Gettleman. He has not provided any protection for Newton in the last several seasons. Panthers GM Gettleman from 2013 to 2017 has not even thought about trying to protect one of his most valuable assets in Cam Newton. From 2013 to 2017, the Panthers have drafted only 1 offensive lineman in the first 2 rounds of the NFL drafts. Not having offensive line protection, as we all know, is critical in the NFL. You're spending a fortune on your quarterback. In fact, in Cam's case, if he sticks around for 2020, the Panthers would be spending over 10% for Cam Newton. So why you're not protecting your most valuable asset with top-of-the-line NFL offensive linemen is beyond me, and I bet it's beyond many of you Panthers fans as well. So why would Cam Newton even want to come back to the Panthers? Yes, he's been with that team since he's been a rookie, and I don't blame him for wanting to stick around, but you need some protection. He's not getting any younger, he's not getting any faster, so you need offensive line protection to help Cam Newton. So if the general manager's not going to do that, why stick around? During that time frame from 2013 to 2017, Cam Newton has been sacked an astounding 185 times in 76 starts in that 5-year time span. It would be extremely unfortunate if Cam Newton put on another jersey and played for another team, but that is the facts of life in NFL. You have to think about your salary cap. You have to think about if you're going to get the value out of that player and how much money you're spending. And with your Cam Newton, you've got to think about, is it worth it to stay with this team who hasn't provided any protection for him in recent years? When you add a lot of that up, I think Cam Newton will probably be playing for a different team in 2020. Hopefully his leg heals. Hopefully he'll play next year. We'll see. I appreciate you watching. Check out the next video right here, and we'll see you next time.